This video is a little bit of a mixed bag because it was inspired by one of my great subscribers, Michael, who over the years has sent me many perfume gifts, samples, and on some occasions some bottles. So I'm really grateful to have subscribers like Michael and many others who have sent me things over the years to smell. And I want to start off by saying that I'm getting to a point where I'm very close to a subscriber milestone that I never really thought I would reach. In a couple of months, I should be at 15,000 subscribers. And one way I want to be able to show my appreciation and thanks, because I don't do giveaways. I'm not sponsored by anybody that would allow me to do things like that on this channel. So really the ways that I can pay back people who watch and support this channel are minimal. But what I would like to do, and I know that what I'm going to talk about in this video is basically very much related to the samples I was sent. But if you want to comment either in this video or in my community tab, anything that you would like to see me make on this channel, what a type of video topic, whether you want me to review a particular perfume or a brand, if I can do it, I will do my best to fulfill that request. So pretty much for the next couple of months, I'm really going to focus on subscriber and viewer requests and see what I can do. I can't promise I'm going to be able to do every request that you guys write down in the comments, just purely because I need to be able to obviously smell the things that you talk about. So for that aside, this video has come about because Michael has sent me a sample of Fahrenheit, Dior's Fahrenheit from 1995. It's a 1995 vintage. And I have previously owned a bottle from about 2015, 2016, and then I finished that one. And I think it was last year I replaced that with this particular bottle. It's 2023, I want to say, no older than 2022, so it's a pretty recent batch. And I did do a video about this compared to my older Fahrenheit, but for today I'm going to do a very quick comparison between a very recent batch of Dior's Fahrenheit compared to a mid-90s batch. So I already have the dry down going on one arm. On this arm, I have 1995. And on this arm, I have the 2023 version that I own. What I can tell you, just smelling it in the air, is when I first sprayed them on, actually, let me spray them on and I'll get a more immediate impression. 1995. And 2023, if I can find that sprayer. So I might get more from the sprayer from the bottle, but we'll see. I feel like the newer version is a little bit more aromatic. I'm getting more of that signature Fahrenheit violet leaf from the newer version. Now, I can't say that is the way the 1995 smelled when it was first released, because we could be talking about the degradation of top notes from an older batch. What I will say, however, is that my very initial impression of the older batch was that it is the leather is more prominent in the older version. But in my bottle, my newer bottle, I definitely get more of that petrol / gasoline accord that Fahrenheit is very much famous for. It's not to say that it isn't in this older version. It's just more prominent here. So, I mean, this is always going to be an unfair comparison when we're talking about older vintages to newer ones, because like I said earlier, we don't know unless you're opening a sealed bottle of something old. I don't know, or can't account for how much the top notes have burnt away off this one, but they're both still Fahrenheit, both recognizable as Fahrenheit. I'm just getting more of it's a deeper, darker, smokier leather accord coming from the older batch. In terms of projection, they're about equal. I will say that if anything, maybe because I can smell more top notes off the newer version, that this feels a little bit heavier and more present, and this is a little bit airier, not necessarily weaker, just different structure to my nose. Definitely, there's just a bit more of a tarry leather thing going on in the older one, so that's really interesting. But what this very quick impression confirms for me is that over the years, based on the ones that I have smelled, Dior have actually done a very good job at maintaining a certain level of quality when it comes to the way Fahrenheit smells and performs. I'm curious to know, I understand that Sauvage is Dior's, chosen one at the moment purely because of the numbers it moves on the market, but Fahrenheit is still available on the market. I think it still only has the one flanker available at the moment, which is the Perfume version. But at some point, and this is a nice segue into the other thing I wanted to talk about, at some point it had several flankers that you could get of Fahrenheit, such was its popularity. I feel like younger men probably aren't into Fahrenheit as much as they are the other more popular Dior Sauvage line fragrances. And it's interesting because I don't feel, even though I'm older, I don't feel like Fahrenheit smells like a dated kind of fragrance. Maybe it is to younger guys, but it's interesting. I'm curious. I need to speak to some younger guys and get them to smell Fahrenheit to see if they think of it as an older man scent. So one last smell. Definitely the leather is more prominent in the older mid-90s version of Fahrenheit, based on the way it is drying down. I'm getting a lot more of the aromatics and the violet leaf here. It's a touch more floral as well, even though the leather is there. And like I said, the petrol accord is present here in the newer one. But speaking of Fahrenheit flankers, my kind subscriber, Michael, also sent me a very generous decant of a perfume that I've wanted to smell for a long time. And this is the first opportunity I've had to smell it. This is Fahrenheit Absolute, which is now sadly discontinued. And my fear every time I get to smell something that is no longer available, someone's kind enough to give me a sample of it or let me smell their bottle, is that I'm going to love it too much, and then I'm just going to be sad because I'm going to go onto eBay to see what 50ml bottles of Fahrenheit Absolute are going for, and in my case I can't see any for less than 500 Australian dollars. I have sprayed this on before, basically as soon as I got it, and just as I had feared. It was absolutely magnificent. Now, I have to say that when you first smell it, if I was smelling this blindly, and I suspect if anyone else is smelling this blindly, I don't know if anyone would necessarily make the connection to the original Fahrenheit, i.e., I don't smell too much of its identity in this one. What I do smell, however, is the most beautiful. Oh, maybe that leather accord is still there, but I just get the most beautiful fizzy cola-like myrrh note running through this. It is deep and resinous, a little bit leathery, and it's so addictive. And it makes me sad that it's no longer available, that it either wasn't making Dior enough money or the materials were no longer available to reproduce it at whatever it was costing them. So, yeah, if ever there was a good reason for clones to exist, it would be to reproduce something as good as Fahrenheit. Absolutely. It's even getting almost, I want to say, ambery in the base. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the note pyramid was like. I do seem to recall there was myrrh in this, and I can definitely smell that. It's definitely sweeter than the original Fahrenheit EDT. So yeah, like I said, if you want me to do a full review of this, plus any of the samples I'm about to mention, please let me know. A couple of dear people also have sent me recently and given me several samples, and I'm going to list them off here. So if you're watching this and you see a perfume that you're particularly interested in me doing a review or a video of, let me know in the comments. So I recently got a very generous decant of MDCI Medici Invasion Barbare. I've got a decant of Fève Délicieuse from the Dior Privé collection. I have from Cartier a sample of L'Heure Exquise, Le 13e Heure, Must de Cartier pour Homme. I'm also wearing, as my scent of the day, Eau de Soie from Sicily. I'm just trying to remember. I've got Chypre Palatin from MDCI as well. And Bas de Soie from Serge Lutin. And I'm probably forgetting something very obvious. Oh, Immortel Solaire from Les Indomptables, as well as Escale on Andenici from Les Indomptables. That's such a mouthful for me. So if you want me to do a review of any of these, make a video on them, let me know. If there's the most popular request will get done first. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. Fahrenheit, vintages, modern, Fahrenheit flankers, your generosity, new samples I've gotten. Thank you very much for watching and supporting me. If you do happen to want to send me samples, let me know. You can email me. My email is thescentinel@gmail.com. I think it's in my channel somewhere. Get in touch with me and I'll give you the details. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye for now.